Welcome back to Money Talks. I'm Kathy Yang. The first tranche of the 85 peso wage hike for Metro Manila workers has been moved to July 25th. Labor groups are protesting the increase, calling it inadequate. With us now for more is Carlos Miguel Oñate, spokesperson for the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines. Good to have you with us, Carlos. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kathy. Good morning to all our viewers. Thank you very much for having us.
All right, so what do you make of July 25, the new date of the first release of the staggered wage hike?
The Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, TUCP, has been consistent in slamming the regional wage boards this time, the National Capital Region, especially having the guts to call this historic when clearly, while we do not dispute that this is the highest increase, 85 pesos, but what is historic about this is that while it is only 85 pesos, falling far short of the 200 pesos which is lost from the purchasing power of minimum wages, and 200 pesos is also required to lift the minimum wage earners out of poverty. It is unfortunate that it is not only sufficient, but it is even given in tranches. Imagine that the 25 pesos, which is the second tranche, will still be given in January. We do not know whether 25 pesos still has purchasing power left with it. And of course, with regards to the delayed publication, it should have been effective July 19. Unfortunately, the press releases, the press events went first before the official publication, and here we are. July 25 is the effectivity of the only 60 pesos increase only in Metro Manila.
Right, so you're not happy with 85, not happy with staggered, and you're also making a mention of that legislated wage hike. This route, though, 85 pesos, was decided by the wage board. What then is the position of the TUCP when it comes to that struggle between having to decide on the next wage hike, according to the wage board, and according to what could be legislated in Congress?
The TUCP, with our TUCP party list, has been pushing for the 200 pesos legislated wage increase, but we understand, of course, that until and unless that is enacted into law, we have to stick with the regional wage boards, which, as we speak today, 4 in every 5 minimum wage earners, especially outside Metro Manila, are still expecting nothing. The regional wage boards in all other regions are still not functioning, are still not reviewing, are still not conducting public hearings, particularly because they have an NWPC guidelines which states that you can only have one wage order for a year. So we have long called for the passage of a legislated increase. We believe that the passage of the legislated wage increase will spell the end of the regional wage board system as we speak today. It has to be reformed. Employers like to cling to it because it is tripartite, but we know for a fact that the regional wage boards have not given sufficient, substantial increase for our workers for 39 years already.
Let's pull in the view of the employers because I spoke with Nina Manju of ECOP on the same program 24 hours ago. She told us some employers will be forced to pass on the extra cost of that wage hike to consumers. Let's just listen to this.
Though we really feel that this is really needed to help our employees, but it will have really a big impact on the prices of all items. I should say all items, not only food, not only energy, not only commodities, but all. Because as you know, the Philippines is still on a manual labor, especially this 60 pesos initially for July and then another 25 for January. Some might really need to increase their prices, which might affect the inflation rate, and those that are not minimum, those that are not gaining from this increase in the minimum wage.
So Carlos's higher wage hikes will mean more, pricier goods for some. How much more price pain is the TUCP willing to impose on consumers in exchange for a bigger wage hike?
But first of all, we have to question that the perspective, especially of our employers, who time and again have said that every time we increase wages, no matter how small it is, they will just pass it on to consumers. Because we have already studied the impact of the these wage increases, both the 200 pesos and then the 85 pesos. This for us is not a question of capacity, but it is a question of their willingness to share a portion of their profits. We have already computed the 200 pesos legislated wage hike is only 9 to 13% of their annual profits across sizes from micro to large. We have also looked at the PSA annual survey of Philippine business and industry for MSMEs, which the employers have long used as a shield against any legitimate wage demand. Their annual profit, a portion of that is only 6 to 7% goes to compensation. So we believe that the 200 pesos is actionable, it's reasonable, it would not be an additional burden on consumers. It will only be a burden if our employers will not share a portion of their profit with their workers. Further, with regards to 85 pesos, they are very proud to say that this is the first time that the employers have officially dissented from regional wage order. But the 85 pesos as computed by Ibon Foundation is only 5% of their profit. So again, this is a matter not of capacity, but it is a matter of willingness of our employers to share in the burden, to share a portion of their profit with their workers.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your insights, Carlos Miguel Oñate of TUCP.